Kind of feel like this is a racist monster suit. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 39th episode of the show Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. This was the 332nd episode overall, titled Dream Battle. We begin this episode on Mutiny's ship, and we're introduced to this sorceress, Hexuba, who is tasked to kill the Rangers so that he can get more slaves. She says that she already has a plan. He needs action, and she agrees. Anyways, on Terra Venture, apparently things are getting screwed up due to an electrical issue, and some lady's car won't start, and a soldier asks her to move, but she can't. Damon shows up, and he opens up the trunk where the battery of the car is, and he corrects whatever issue that's going on that she's having. This woman is named Terry, shaking hands with Damon. I like Terry. The car is fixed. Meanwhile, Hexuba is in her magic shop looking into a crystal ball, and she's telling Mutiny how she has a plan. Meanwhile, Damon is in his dorm and the doorbell rings, and someone delivers flowers to him. He walks away looking at the flowers, curious. To Damon from the girls. He smells the flowers and suddenly he yawns exhausted. He gets into his bunk and Hexuba is watching this, saying that his reality is about to become her nightmare. Damon dreams of being morphed in a forest and suddenly everything shakes and he falls toward a river. After the theme song, Damon gets into his jet jammer, taking off, but then he's shot at and the controls aren't responding. He crash lands. Damon wakes up all sweaty, and Leo and Kai are there telling him that it was just a dream. He starts saying how real it felt, how the jammer got its engines blasted out of the sky. He starts to fall back asleep, and Kai smells the demon flowers. Leo gets ready to go because they were going to go meet Alpha at the megaship, and Kai says he's super tired, so he's just going to nap first. He passes out in his dorm. At the megaship, Leo walks in looking for Alpha. He follows his voice to find Damon's jet jammer really damaged. Alpha is repairing it, saying that he didn't know Damon was in a fight. Leo says he wasn't, and he immediately knows that the nightmare was real. He tries to call Kai, but no response. Kai and Damon are now together in the dream, and Swabbies show up out of nowhere, and they take them on in unused Japanese footage. Meanwhile, Maya and Karone find flowers outside of their dorm, and Maya says as a joke, "I'm sure they're for me," and they're both like, "Ugh, from the guys." Hexuba is watching as they both pass the hell out on the floor, and suddenly they're morphed in the dream too, and Kai comes flying in. Here comes Swabbies, and now there's more fighting against the Swabbies. Leo comes into the male dorm trying to wake up Damon and Kai. It doesn't work, so he calls Maya and Karone, but no response. He calls Mike, but also no response. I mean, what the hell is Mike doing? Leo then just smells the flowers for seemingly no reason and he gets exhausted. And Mike calls asking what's up. "Girl, were you busy?" Leo says to meet him at the girls' quarters, but he's obviously really tired now. They find Maya and Karone are passed out, and Mike reads the note. He says, "We didn't send any flowers." And I wish Leo was like, "Ooh, awkward, we did, you just weren't around." Then Mike smells the damn flowers like a fool, and Leo is screaming at him, but now Leo is getting real tired again. Leo says it's the flowers, and everyone who smells them seems to fall asleep. Mike says they have to keep walking to stay awake, and they have to find whoever is delivering these flowers. Meanwhile, the Dream Rangers are still morphed and fighting off all these damn Swabbies, but they're starting to not do super well. Probably because there's so many Swabbies, allegedly. We see the flower delivery guy, and he's delivering flowers to Mike's room. Mike has his own room? Mike and Leo show up, and they ask where he got the flowers, and he says, "A dinky little shop at 101 Plaza Circle." Alright, well, way to insult the shop. Mike tells him to just throw them out, and the guy is confused, walking away as Leo just passes out. He's in the dream world now too, morphed, and now it's snowing. The Rangers are fighting off more Swabbies in the snow now, and God, I have to admit, I love snow fights. We don't get enough of them in Power Rangers. Mike is stumbling around trying to get to the flower shop and he's tired, but it looks like he's just completely wasted in the middle of the day. He just keeps stumbling until he's hit by a car who goes, "Sorry," and just keeps zooming by. Oh my God, hit and run! Mike is like, "I have to keep moving." No more snow in the dream, I guess. The Rangers are just fighting off Swabbies in the same climate they were before. This episode's a lot of Swabby fights, and honestly, it's making me feel very tired. Hexuba says it's time to finish them off, so a moon-shaped monster is there now, and everyone except for Damon's fighting him. Where did Damon go? Meanwhile, Mike has found the flower shop address, but it's vacant. He holds the door handle trying to pull it open, and then he gets teleported to Hexuba's psychic services room. She zaps him trying to get him to fall asleep. I'm surprised she's not reading him tarot yet. Meanwhile, the others are having their asses handed to them by the monster, and again, Damon's nowhere to be found. They get fired off into a river. Did Damon, wake up? Meanwhile, Mike is still struggling, and he finds a mirror next to him holding it up. It causes a series of firings, and it shatters the crystal ball. Then the monster sends Kai flying, and suddenly he thinks something is wrong, so Damon is there magically, kicking him back. Damon boldly proclaims that the dream spell is broken, which, how would you even know that? They activate the lights of Orion using the power-up mode, and it doesn't work for some reason. No idea why. Then the monster fires on them again, but Damon gets through somehow solo, and he defeats the monster single-handedly with a punch. So, there's that. The monster is now giant, so they call out the Galactic Beast, turning them into their Zords, and then forming the Galaxy Megazord. They add the Lights of Orion bits, and now they're fighting this giant unnamed monster who kicks them down. Damon calls out the Stratoforce Megazord, and then the Centaurus Megazord shows up. Wrong one. He kicks and knocks down the monster, giving the Rangers the opportunity to use the Megazord Saber, slashing the monster and killing him off. Ta-da! Hexuba is pissed that her allegedly perfect plan was ruined, but she has a new crystal ball, so that's nice. She wants to kill the Rangers now. Also, Mutiny is pissed that she failed, but she assures him that it won't happen again. He warns her not to fail him again. Meanwhile, everyone wakes up with their roofie flowers, feeling quite groggy. Everyone gets together, even Mike, and suddenly Terry is there. She wants to thank Damon for helping her with her car, and she gives him flowers, and he panics, tossing them into the sink. Terry's like, excuse me. And Maya says, he's allergic to flowers. They give him nightmares. And everyone just laughs in this poor girl's face. The end. This episode is wild. It was a really clever way to say, hey, we have a lot of Japanese footage of the Rangers fighting Swabbies that we cut before for Stingwingers. Let's use it a bit up here. And I don't hate that. But what I do hate is how the spell is broken unceremoniously for the Rangers themselves, and then this was clearly a Green Ranger focus episode in Japan that got cut. I mean, Damon just disappears for a lot of the Japanese footage, and no one even mentions it. Also, the ending sucked. Poor Terry. Next time, Hexuba tries again, but until then, may the power protect you.